The following is a slightly historical series on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era of China's history. Because this is based off of a video game, and myself playing it, there will be a lot of incorrect information that we will correct using the help of Wikipedia. For those of you who want to learn more about Dynasty Warriors, or the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era, I suggest reading the book. Please enjoy the following presentation. Today we will be first doing the story of Wei Yan. Wei Yan. This masked warrior is extremely fierce in battle. Although often feared by his own allies, he has earned the trust of Liu Bei. Wei Yan, we don't know when he was born, but he was from Yiyang Commandery, which covered parts of present-day Nanyang. He started his career as a foot soldier under the warlord Liu Bei, sometime between 209 and 211, when Liu Bei was in southern Jing province. Around 212, he followed Liu Bei into Yi, and served Liu Bei as a personal retainer in a war against Liu Zhang, the governor of Yi. Huanzhong and Wei Yan scored many military exploits during the capture of Guanghan County. Thus, Wei Yan was promoted to a full general. So joining a little bit later in the wars could have been because he was on the younger side, could have been because he just wasn't involved earlier on, but seems like from circumstance he joined Liu Bei.
Liu Bei's officer, Wei Yan.
Oh, this is going to be difficult, isn't it?
Land in 3. Bei, Cao Cao, Sun Quan. Liu Bei, attack, Cao Cao. Battlefield, Mount Dingjun. I fight, enemies die.
Well, it looks like we're going to be skipping the Battle of Yi Province, in which Wei Yan was a simple foot soldier at the time. So it looks like we're going to be skipping ahead to the Battle of Mount Dingjun, and from what I'm looking at here, he was not involved in that battle, so that's a little unusual. I guess let's just jump right in.
From here, we shall advance our army to Mount Dingjun in Hanzhong. If we can take this land, it will prove advantageous in our battle against Wei. In order to attack the enemy position on Mount Dingjun, we must first take Mount Tiandang. Everybody, begin moving towards there from your current positions. Wei Yan, although our Lord trusts you, I have a bad feeling about you. I hope that you shall prove me wrong with your performance in the battle ahead.
What the hell? I have a bad feeling about you. What's your problem? Alright, so the Battle of Mount Dingjun was around the year of, 219. And this, I guess, would be the Hanzhong campaign. Yes. Yes, this is. So this is the Hanzhong campaign, basically. So between 217 and 219, this is when Liu Bei would attack into the north. We covered this yesterday, or in the previous episodes with Zhang He, but a series of battles taking place within these mountains that looks like Wei Yan did participate in. After Liu Bei captured Hanzhong, Liu Bei asked his subjects to nominate one of his generals to remain behind and guard Hanzhong. His subjects nominated Zhang Fei, who was also strongly believed that he would most likely be chosen. However, much to everyone's surprise, Liu Bei chose Wei Yan instead and appointed him as general who guards distant lands and acting administrator of Hanzhong. When Liu Bei asked Wei Yan in front of everyone how he would perform his duty, the latter confidently replied, "If Cao Cao leads all the forces in China to attack Hanzhong, let me assist your highness in resisting them. If an enemy general comes with an army of 100,000, let me engulf them, for your highness. Liu Bei was very pleased, and everyone was impressed with Wei Yan's reply. During his tenure, Wei Yan explained to Liu Bei that he borrowed a strategy which were called the double gates. It was a particularly designed fortification which laid numerous military garrisons surrounding the outskirt and trail exits linking to Hanzhong. So he was not at the Battle of Dingjun, but he was involved in the campaigns defending captured commanderies. So that's a little more involvement than we've seen in other characters.
We expelled the Wei army from Hanzhong and created a foothold towards the center of the continent. These fertile lands shall serve the kingdom of Shu well in the battles ahead. With our army gaining power, we have realized the Three Kingdoms strategy. Surely Wei and Wu will plot together to try and bring us down. We must keep our guard up at all times.
So in the following years, the Eastern Han Dynasty would see its end, and the Three Kingdoms period would begin in around 220. Liu Bei declared himself emperor in 221 and established the state of the Shu Han to challenge the legitimacy of the Cao Wei. Liu Bei further promoted Wei Yan to general who guards the north after this coronation. Wei of Musu. Oh, I already have that. Oh, okay.
Shu, Mount Dingjun, defeat Wei. Let Liu Bei die. Me, sad.
After Liu Bei died in 223, his son Liu Shan succeeded him. In the same year, Liu Shan enfeoffed Wei Yan as a marquis of a chief village.
Now, Wei attack again. Next battlefield, Jian Shui. Zhuge Liang, Shu army leads. Zhuge Liang, me not trust. Why? I don't know.
Alright, so the Battle of the Northern Campaigns would start beginning after the death of Liu Bei, and that would be where Zhuge Liang would basically over and over again try to invade the northern lands. In 227, Zhuge Liang mobilized the Shu military and gathered troops in Hanzhong in preparation for a large-scale invasion of Shu's rival state, Cao Wei, where he put Wei Yan in charge of the Vanguard Division and appointed him as acting major under the Imperial Chancellor and acting inspector. During this campaign, Wei Yan always requested to lead a separate detachment of 10,000 troops, take a different route, and rendezvous with the Shu main army at Tong Pass.
Wei Yan, you did well on Mount Dingjun. Next, we must attack the strategic point of Qianshui. If we can gain control of this land, we will be even more prepared to face Wei. Additionally, I am hearing of a young and talented officer in that land by the name of Jiang Wei. If we can get him to join us, he will eventually be able to serve as my successor. If we use proper strategy, we can persuade Jiang Wei to submit. An absolute victory in this battle will be ours. Not only will we gain valuable land, but a capable officer as well.
So it's likely that Jiang Wei was at this battle in particular, Tianshui. Let me try finding that here. Let's see, the Tianshui revolts in the Battle of Jieting. Let's see. I don't see Wei Yan's name here when it comes to Jiang Wei. But he is indeed involved in the first northern expedition. So, let's see. looks like there's more involvement in the Ziwu campaign for Wei Yan, but we'll get there when we get there. So, like I was gonna say before I was rudely interrupted, like we remember from Jian Wei's story, he more surrendered and became a part of the Wei or the Shu state more as a victim of circumstance than anything else. It was a lot less about, you know, Zhuge Liang headhunting him and scouting him. I do appreciate that this video game really plays up how the defection happens, when in reality it was just like Jian Wei is like, alright, I'm surrounded, everyone else surrendered, I guess I have to defect. What's up, Eagle?
We managed to obtain both the strategic location of Tianshui and the young prodigy Jiang Wei. It can be said that this is a sign of great things to come for Shu. We must use Tianshui as a foothold in our campaign against Wei's home base of Chang'an. This battle will prove difficult, so we must continue to strengthen our army. We have taken Tianshui and gained the brilliant strategist Jiang Wei. Wei Yan, you were quite impressive. Shu needs officers like you now more than ever. Now, we shall move to protect Jieting, which is a strategic point for our northern campaign. Everybody, take up position along the roads and prepare to meet the Wei army in battle.
So this is another battle that we know of because of, you know, Zhuge Liang episode, Jiang Wei episode, Zhang He episode that happened recently. Wei Yan doesn't seem to be at this battle. He was involved mostly in what is called the Ziwu campaign, which I'll read about if after this battle we skip to the Battle of Mount Qi, which I do believe is in this game. I don't remember off the top of my head. You would think I would, considering how much I played this game the past couple of months. But Wei Yan's involvement in these northern expeditions were mostly in the Ziwu campaign, the Battle of Mount Qi, and the Battle of Wuzhang Plains. So again, I'll explain a little bit more if and when we get to those battles.
On that land, it would appear beneficial to take the mountaintop, but it is not so. We must not act rashly in this battle. Instead, we should concentrate on guarding the roads.
We do know that this battle is a horrific loss for the Shu side. The leader Ma Su was killed for his insubordination.
Lord Ma Su, the Prime Minister distinctly said not to set up camp on the mountain.
We'd be mad to ignore such a great vantage point. I'm heading straight for the summit. It's important to adjust one's strategy to the situation. Zhuge Liang will understand.
My lord, your point is understood. However, I'm starting to get a very bad feeling about this battle. Wei Yan, come with me. They need our help.
I fight here.
But the Prime Minister predicted that Wei Yan would betray us. Has it already come to pass?
What the hell?
I know. Falter. Destroy. Enemy.
I think with that little storyline
Now
there,
is the time to crush them.
they're exaggerating that
You were overconfident, Sima Yi.
they're exaggerating the fact that
Take some time to
Wei Yan and Zhuge Liang would bump heads on strategy on occasion. most notably during the Ziwu campaign.
Two, stop, enemy!
But I'm not sure where the idea that he was going to defect comes from.
Are you trying to make me angry?
We managed to successfully defend Jian. I'll admit I had my doubts about Lord Ma Su's strategy in the beginning, though. Well, I am glad that I was able to live up to the Prime Minister's expectations. Jian is an important victory for us in the battle against Wei. It will no doubt serve as a guide for Shu on the path toward Chang'an.
Fight, enemy die. Battle doesn't end. Chaos continues to Galiang. Northern campaign continues. Troops, provisions necessary. Soon, Shu retire. Liu Bei not wish. And I must hurry quickly. Destroy enemy.
We shall proceed along Chenkang Road and attack Wei's Chenkang Castle. If we can take this castle, then it will clear a path for us toward Chang'an. Chenkang Castle is tightly guarded. We will have to use our siege weapons to overcome the castle's defenses. We also must beware of the enemy troops that will try and interfere with our siege. Wei Yan, you shall be in charge of guarding our siege weapons. In addition, if you see an opportunity, I want you to proceed to Chenkang Castle. This is an important mission. I am counting on you.
So again, Wei Yan was not at this battle, the Battle of Chenkang, and now I'm wondering if we're gonna see the Battle of Mount Qi, and it looks like we're not gonna be seeing the Ziwu campaign, but this battle takes place in the year 228 to 229, or yeah, 229 is the Siege of Chenkang, the second Northern Expedition, and although I did mention in 227, Wei Yan was involved in the first Northern Expedition, was not at these last two battles that we're seeing right now, and we'll just continue on. In the timeline, this happens before the next major thing that Wei Yan does, but I am seeing thing about that little rumbling of Zhuge Liang being like, he'll eventually betray us. Because apparently, later on, Wei Yan, basically a mistake happened where they thought Wei Yan was defecting, so they killed him, when in reality he wasn't doing that, but more details will come.
Enemy officer.
And the funny thing about this battle, like we said in the Zhang He episode, or Zhang He, is that basically they just sieged the castle, then left because they couldn't siege it, and Zhang He was not involved because he was on his way, and basically just didn't get there in time to help defend. Not that he needed to. Which is the funny thing now, isn't it?
Submit to us, Wei Yan. Here you will find the respect that you so greatly deserve.
Zhuge Liang, not trust me, but Liu Bei, trust me. I be loyal.
You think you can fight all by yourself? Fool. It is difficult to fight such untrained savages.
Enemy officer defeated.
we have managed to secure Chenkang Castle under the control of Shu. It was a siege unprecedented in terms of man, horse, and weapons, but we managed to win none the same. At last, Chang'an lies before us. The final battle with Wei is near at hand. Perhaps we should rest a bit before it is decided who shall reign supreme over the land.
Liang, Wu Zhang Plains. Troops, advance. Wei, large army. At Wu Zhang Plains. Perhaps this battle lasts.
So it looks like we are going to be skipping way ahead. We are going to be skipping the Ziwu campaign, where Wei Yan led some troops toward Yangji and engaged the Wei forces led by Guo Huai and Fei Yao, where Wei Yan managed to inflict a heavy defeat to them. Also, during the same year, he assisted another Shu general, Wu Yi. Both of them were ordered to attack Nan'an Commandery, where they scored another victory against Wei's army led by Fei Yao. If you want to get a little more in depth about that Ziwu campaign, let's see. In August 230, Cao Zhen led an army from Chang'an to attack Shu. At the same time, another Wei army led by Sima Yi, acting on Cao Rui's order, advanced towards Shu from Jing by sailing along the Han River. When he heard of the Wei recent movements, Zhuge Liang urged Li Yan to lead 20,000 troops to Hanzhong Commandery. As Zhao Hoba led the vanguard of this expedition through a 330-kilometer Ziwu Trail, he was identified by the local residents who reported his presence to the Shu forces. Zhao Hoba barely managed to retreat after reinforcements from the main army arrived. Zhuge Liang also allowed Wei Yan to lead troops behind enemy lines toward Yangji, to encourage the Qiang people to join the Shu Han against Wei. Wei Yan greatly defeated Wei forces led by Guo Huai and Fei Yao. Following those events, the conflict became a prolonged stalemate with a few skirmishes. After more than a month of slow progress and by fear of significant losses and waste of resources, more and more Wei officials sent memorials to end the campaign. The situation wasn't helped by the difficult topography and constant heavy rain lasting for more than 30 days. Cao Rui decided to abort the campaign. Then we have the fourth expedition, which Wei Yan was also involved in. In 231, Wei Yan was involved in the Battle of Mount Qi, where he, together with the Shu generals Gao Jiang and Wu Ban, scored a major victory against the Wei army led by Sima Yi, where they killed 3,000 Wei soldiers and seized 5,000 sets of armors and 3,100 crossbows. Sima Yi was forced to retreat. Zhang He, a veteran Wei general, was killed in this battle. As a reward for his contributions, the Shu government promoted Wei Yan to the vanguard military advisor and senior general who attacks the West, elevating him from a village marquis to a county marquis, the Marquis of Nanjing. After that, we will come to the Battle of Wuzhang Plains. In 234, Zhuge Liang launched the 5th Shu invasion of Wei, with Wei Yan leading the Shu vanguard as one of the commanding officers. Wei Yan reportedly had a dream that a horn grew on top of his head. He asked the dream diviner Zhao Ji the meaning of this. Zhao Ji lied to him and said, a qilin has horns, but do not use it. This is an auspicious sign that the enemy will destroy themselves without battle. After he left, he revealed to someone that the word horn is composed of a knife with U's below it, which means that dreaming of using a knife atop one's head should be considered an extremely ominous omen. Later in the encampment, Wei Yan had a quarrel with Yang Yi, Zhuge Liang's chief clerk, as Wei Yan was extremely resentful of Yang Yi. Whenever they got into heated quarrels, Wei Yan often drew his sword and brandished it in front of Yang Yi, who sobbed as tears rolled down his cheeks, which prompted Fei Yi to then step in to stop them from fighting and manage to keep them under control until Zhuge Liang's death. Zhuge Liang was upset by the lack of harmony between Wei Yan and Yang Yi, but was unwilling to side with either of them because he appreciated the talents of both men. When Zhuge Liang became critically ill during the invasion, he gave secret orders to Yang Yi, Fei Yi, and Jiang Wei to lead the army back to Shu after his death, with Wei Yan in charge of the rear guard and Jiang Wei to follow behind. And if Wei Yan refused to follow the order, they were to retreat without him.
Shu, land, Liu Bei, dead, but dream realized. I, Liu Bei's officer, realize dream.
The thing is, though, well, actually, I'll get to it during the battle.
Defeat enemies, destroy them all.
After our numerous battles in the north, we are finally ready to confront Wei. This final battle between Shu and Wei shall take place on the Wuzhang Plains in the territory of Fufang. The enemy fears our spirit for this upcoming battle, and has done all they can to strengthen their defenses. We must keep our supply lines intact and use our provisions wisely in order to overrun the enemy position. Wei Yan, I cannot trust you completely. However, this time, I need the skills that you have used to defend Shu. Please, bring victory to us. This is it. Here at Wuzhang, our long-standing battle with Wei shall come to an end. It's just as I foretold. However, the road getting here was even more difficult than I had imagined.
Prime Minister!
Let us go. The time has come for us to unite the land. O great and mighty heavens, I, Zhuge Liang, pray to you with all my heart. Though I die, may Shu continue to thrive without me.
Like I mentioned earlier, the orders were that if Zhuge Liang dies, the rest of the army is to retreat. And if Wei Yan does not agree with the idea to retreat, it was to leave him behind and let him continue attacking by himself.
Are you trying to make me angry?
The thing about that, though, is when Zhuge Liang died, news of his death was kept secret. Yang Yi sent Fei Yi to meet Wei Yan and assess the intentions. Wei Yan told Fei Yi, "Although the Imperial Chancellor is dead, I am still alive. The officials serving in the Imperial Chancellor's office may bring his body back to Chengdu for burial, but I should remain behind to lead the army to attack the enemy. Must we abandon our mission just because of the death of one man? Besides, who am I, Wei Yan, to submit to Yang Yi's command and lead the rear guard?" Wei Yan then asked Fei Yi to assist him in making arrangements for part of the Shu army to remain behind and continue with the campaign, while the rest would retreat back to Shu. Fei Yi pretended to write a letter signed by the both of them and told Wei Yan that he would read out the letter to all the officers about the new arrangements, where he lied by telling Wei Yan that he will go back and explain Wei Yan's answer to Yang Yi.
Oh, such impressive skill. Thanks to the Prime Minister's brilliant plan, we were able to defeat Wei. All of my men did an excellent job in controlling their grief and fighting against the enemy. The Prime Minister left behind a path toward unification of the land. Now, it is up to those of us left behind to create a new future where the people and the land will not be tempted toward the path to ruin.
So with that letter, Wei Yan, well, the fake letter, Wei Yan then let Fei Yi leave, but he immediately regretted his decision and went after Fei Yi. Although Wei Yan could not catch up to Fei Yi in time, he then sent his subordinate to meet Yang Yi and the others, but was shocked to discover that all units were preparing to retreat in accordance with Zhuge Liang's orders. Final orders. Wei Yan wanted to continue the battle even though Zhuge Liang had died, so he became furious when he heard of the retreat. He intended to block the Shu forces from retreating, so he led his force towards the south, ahead of the main army under Yang Yi's command, and sealed the return route by destroying the gallery roads that led back to Shu. Wei Yan and Yang Yi separately wrote memorials to the Shu imperial court to accuse each other, and both memorials arrived in Chengdu on the same day. The Shu Emperor Liu Shan asked the ministers Dong Yun and Jiang Wan for their opinions. Both of them sided with Yang Yi and felt that Wei Yan's actions were suspicious. In the meantime, Yang Yi ordered his men to cut down the trees to rebuild the roads, and his troops marched day and night to catch up with Wei Yan. Wei Yan arrived at the southern valley first and ordered his soldiers to attack Yang Yi. Yang Yi sent Wang Ping to resist Wei Yan, but Wang Ping shouted at Wei Yan, "His Excellency, Zhuge Liang, had just died and his body has yet to turn cold, and now you dare to do something like this?" Wei Yan's men knew that their commander was in the wrong, so they deserted. Wei Yan was left with only his sons and a few followers. They fled towards Hanzhong Commandery. Yang Yi ordered Ma Dai to give chase. Ma Dai killed Wei Yan, brought his head back, and threw it in front of Yang Yi. Yang Yi trampled on Wei Yan's severed head and said, "You inferior slave, now can you still commit evil?" The family members and close relatives of Wei Yan were also executed. Before Wei Yan's death, Jiang Wan had led the imperial guards from Chengdu to deal with what appeared to be a mutiny by Wei Yan. They had traveled for about 10 li when they received news of Wei Yan's death. They then turned back and returned to Chengdu.
It was during the final days of the year 200 AD when the Han Dynasty saw its end. Its demise ushered in a new era of chaos, brought on by several regional lords vying to rule China. There were those who sought absolute power, as well as those who fought for justice, and some simply fought for the sake of their beliefs. Many would rise and fall in their attempts to dominate the land. Wei Yan, from the Yiyang region. Possessing a natural instinct for battle, he was a brave and just man. First serving Liu Biao in Jing, he went on later to serve Han Xuan in Changsha after Liu Biao's death. When Liu Bei attacked Changsha, Han Xuan suspected Huang Zhang of having personal ties to Liu Bei and ordered his execution. Wei Yan knew that no such ties existed, so he killed Han Xuan and surrendered to Liu Bei along with Huang Zhang. Although Liu Bei welcomed Wei Yan, Zhuge Liang feared he would ultimately betray Shu. Despite Zhuge Liang's lack of faith, however, Wei Yan swore his loyalty to Liu Bei and showed great prowess. Wei Yan contributed greatly to Shu with his skills on the battlefield. Liu Bei was crowned Emperor of Shu, but died soon after, leaving Zhuge Liang in control. Zhuge Liang was impressed with Wei Yan's abilities, but still did not trust him completely. Wei Yan knew this, but continued to be loyal, and gave his all in trying to realize Liu Bei's dreams. Zhuge Liang eventually passed away after Shu had united the land. Wei Yan, realizing that he had fulfilled his destiny, quietly disappeared into the shadows of the land from which he had come.
That's not true. He was killed.
These tales, long forgotten in the flows of time, are about the legends of which no one can recall.
So there's a pretty big section here debating between historians about Wei Yan's death. Chen Shou, who wrote Wei Yan's biography in the Sangguo Shi, analyzed his death as such. Wei Yan's initial intention was not to head north to surrender to Cao Wei. Instead, he wanted to retreat back to the south. He desired to kill Yang Yi and the others who disagreed with him. Although the officers held differing opinions, he strongly believed that they would generally agree to him becoming Zhuge Liang's successor. That was his true intention. He was not thinking of rebelling. Chen Shou also remarked that Zhuge Liang himself highly valued Wei Yan's bravery and caught in the dilemma when the latter had conflict with Yang Yi, ration and transportation staff officer, which talent in managing his duties Zhuge Liang also valued. A similar but somewhat different and more detailed account exists in the historical text, the Wei Lue, work by later Wei Dynasty historian named Yu Huan, stated that Zhuge Liang told Wei Yan to set up defense, although he also gave further instructions to not return here. Wei Yan kept this order for himself and did not share it with others, thus prompting Wei Yan's rival, Yang Yi, to spread the rumors that Wei Yan had intended to defect to the enemy, which led the incited Shu soldiers to attack Wei Yan, killing him. However, Pei Zongxi, who added the Wei Lue's account to Wei Yan's biography and annotated the Sangguo Shi, doubted the account as he remarked, "I believe this account, the Wei Lue, was derived from hearsay in the enemy state of Cao Wei and may not be as reliable as compared to the original account by Chen Shou." Furthermore, modern-era historical analysis stated that Wei Yan's death was explained in political terms in Injustice to Wei Yan, a neoteric article by Zhu Jian, a history professor from Shanghai University, where Zhu wrote that Zhuge Liang personally appointed Jian Wan, Fei Yi, and Jiang Wei to be his successors, but Wei Yan's appointments and contributions were greater than those of any of them at the time. Zhuge Liang ostracized Wei Yan and cracked down on him because he wanted to eliminate Wei Yan as a possible obstacle to his appointed successors. So that might be why we saw here in the game Zhuge Liang's distrust of Wei Yan as a kind of underlying setup to kind of sabotage him in becoming the successor of Zhuge Liang, and, you know, the added drama of having Jiang Wei be his successor in this game a little exaggerated and overstated. Meanwhile, in the analysis of the Three Kingdoms by Yi Zhongqian, he commented that Zhuge Liang's last order to forcibly retreat and leave Wei Yan alone was contradicted by what he personally instructed Wei Yan, such contradiction indirectly leading to the tragedy that Wei Yan and Yang Yi had occurred. Hence, the forcible retreat might be the idea of Yang Yi and not Zhuge Liang, since Zhuge Liang died before devising any withdrawal plan, thus prompted Yi Zhongqian to theorize that there was no evidence of the theory that Yang Yi fabricated the order. Yi Zhongqian also explained another possible hypothesis was that Zhuge Liang's final order to leave Wei Yan alone simply meant ignore Wei Yan and did not mean kill Wei Yan. Shu Han's main forces must withdraw to guard the rear area, and if Wei Yan could not be stopped, then just let him be. Yi Zhongqian analyzed and criticized that Wei Yan did not grasp the political economical reasons behind both of Zhuge Liang's expeditions and his extreme caution. Zhuge Liang launched the expeditions not only to restore the Han, but also to keep the Shu Han in warring conditions and use that to increase his control over the internal affair and suppress the potential dissidents amongst local nobility. As the smallest and weakest among the three kingdoms, the Shu Han would be the first one to be targeted. Hence, it had to make preemptive attacks to intimidate the opponents, to enlarge its territory, and to improve its conditions. The rate of success was not high, but it was better than doing nothing. Zhuge Liang's goal of Han restoration was sincere and never changed. However, the powerful Cao Wei could not be defeated in one single blow. Hence, the expeditions must be done in a careful manner, with guaranteed advances rather than daring but risky strikes that could lead to disasters like Jiaoting or Fan Chang. Such a complicated situation could not be explained clearly to Wei Yan, and probably did not need to be, as Zhuge Liang wanted to keep Wei Yan's spirit at his highest. Long story short, they thought Wei Yan wouldn't understand why they're doing these battles in a higher sense, and just thought, oh, we're going to battle to try to win. And that's why Wei Yan wanted to try to win these battles, and thus wanted to keep fighting, and thus made the mistake of cutting off his own army's retreat route so they would be forced to keep fighting, which in turn got him killed, because maybe he was just that stupid. I don't know. But the fact that there is a lot of debate about these, like his final moments, his death, and the aftermath of the Battle of the Wuzhong Plains is really interesting. And I think that does add some depth to, you know, why these things happen. You know, obviously his rivalry with this other guy probably led to it, and in that one analysis was like, oh, maybe Zhuge Liang didn't even have that order to retreat without him, and that was made up by, you know, the dude who wrote the fake letter. So clearly Wei Yan was not well liked and did not do himself any favors in that situation, and as such, you know, a lot of little things added up and he got himself killed.
Wei defeated. Chaos ended. My duty over. I leave Shu now.
And that is the unfortunate ending of the otherwise powerful Wei Yan.